A baby giraffe is born. It drops 6 feet to the ground, hits the dirt, and within 30 minutes, it's standing. Within an hour, it's walking. Within a day, it can run fast enough to escape a lion. A baby horse? Same thing. Stands in 15 minutes, runs within hours. A baby dolphin is born swimming. It has to be. If it doesn't swim, it drowns. Even a baby kangaroo, born the size of a jelly bean, blind and hairless, still has enough strength to crawl through its mother's fur, find the pouch, and latch on. It does this entirely on instinct, minutes after being born. And then there's a human baby. It can't hold up its own head. It can't roll over. It can't grab food. It can't communicate beyond screaming. It can't even see clearly past 12 inches. For the first year of its life, a human infant is completely, utterly, helplessly dependent on someone else for survival. Leave it alone for 10 minutes and it will die. And this isn't some rare defect. This is every single one of us. You were like this. Your parents were like this. Every human who has ever lived spent their first year as the most vulnerable mammal on planet Earth. So here's the question. If evolution is supposed to make species better at surviving, why did it produce the most helpless baby in the animal kingdom? Why are we born too early? In 1960, anthropologist Adolf Portman published a theory that changed how scientists think about human birth. He called human babies secondarily altricial. That's a fancy way of saying we're born premature, on purpose. Most mammals are born in one of two states, altricial or precocial. Altricial animals are born helpless. Think of mice, rabbits, kittens. They're born blind, deaf, furless, but they're also born fast. A mouse is pregnant for 20 days. A rabbit, 30 days. They pop out helpless babies quickly, hide them in a burrow, and go back to surviving. Precocial animals are born ready. Horses, deer, elephants, whales. These babies come out walking, swimming, seeing, hearing. They can follow their mothers within hours. They're born capable because they have to be. There's nowhere to hide a baby elephant. It has to keep up with the herd, or it dies. Humans don't fit either category. We're born helpless like altricial animals, but we stay helpless for years, longer than any altricial species on Earth. And we're born after a long pregnancy, 9 months, like precocial animals. But we don't come out ready. We come out broken. Portman did the math. If humans were born at the same level of development as other primates, pregnancy would last 18 to 21 months. That's when a human baby would be able to walk, see clearly, and interact with the world the way a newborn chimp or gorilla can. But we're not born at 18 months. We're born at 9. We're born halfway done. And the reason why comes down to one thing. Your head is too big. The average newborn human head is about 10 centimeters in diameter. The average human birth canal, even fully dilated, is about 10 to 11 centimeters. That is a margin of error so thin that childbirth became the leading cause of death for women throughout most of human history. Even today, with all of modern medicine, humans have the most dangerous birth process of any mammal on the planet. A horse gives birth in 30 minutes and the foal walks away. A human birth averages 8 to 14 hours of labor. And until the last 100 years, it killed the mother about 1 to 2% of the time. For context, that means if you were a woman in pre-industrial society and you had 5 children, you had roughly a 5 to 10% chance of dying in childbirth at some point in your life. No other mammal has odds that bad. So why didn't evolution just make the birth canal bigger? It tried, but it ran into a wall. Literally. When humans started walking upright about 6 million years ago, our pelvis had to change. A wide pelvis is great for giving birth, but it's terrible for walking. The wider your hips, the more your legs splay outward. The more they splay, the less efficient your stride. You can see this in action. Women, on average, have slightly wider hips than men because their pelvis is optimized for childbirth. And biomechanically, that wider pelvis makes walking and running slightly less efficient. Not by much, but enough that evolution noticed. For millions of years, evolution was trying to solve 2 problems at once. Make the pelvis narrow enough to walk upright efficiently. Make it wide enough to birth a baby with a big brain. And it couldn't do both, so it compromised. It made the pelvis as wide as it could without crippling our ability to walk. And then it did something desperate. It started birthing babies early, before their heads got too big to fit. This is called the obstetric dilemma. Your brain is so large and your pelvis is so narrow that you have to be born premature just to fit through. You're not supposed to be this helpless. You're supposed to still be in the womb, but evolution ran out of room, so it evicted you 9 months early and hoped someone would take care of you. And for 300,000 years, someone did. Because here's the thing, being born helpless only works if you're born into a group that will protect you, and humans are the best at that. In 2005, anthropologist Sarah Hrdy published a book called Mothers and Others, and in it, she argued that human babies aren't helpless despite our intelligence, they're helpless because of it. She called it cooperative breeding. Most mammals raise their young alone. A mother bear raises her cubs by herself. A mother wolf has help from the pack, but she's still the primary caregiver. Humans are different. Human babies are raised by the mother, the father, grandmothers, aunts, siblings, and anyone else in the group who's willing to help. Anthropologists studying the Hadza people in Tanzania found that babies are held by an average of 14 different people per day. 14! The baby gets passed around constantly. And this isn't just modern behavior. This is how humans have always done it. In Sungir, Russia, archaeologists found a 34,000-year-old burial site. 2 children buried with thousands of ivory beads, fox teeth, and carved jewelry. The items they were buried with would have taken thousands of hours to make. These children were valued. They were cared for by the entire group, not just their parents. This is what makes humans different. We don't just tolerate helpless babies. We've built our entire social structure around them. Your baby can be useless for a year because 10 other people are willing to keep it alive. And that changes everything. Because if your baby doesn't have to be born ready, evolution can spend those extra months doing something else, growing the brain. A newborn human brain is about 25% the size of an adult brain. By age 3, it's 80%. That means most of your brain develops outside the womb, in the real world, while you're interacting with people, language, and culture. A baby horse is born with a brain that's already 90% developed. It's ready to run, but it's also finished. It will learn a few things, but its brain is mostly set. A human baby is born unfinished. And that's the point. You're not born with instincts. You're born with potential. Your brain is still wiring itself based on the environment you're born into. If you're born into a language, your brain wires itself to hear and produce those sounds. If you're born into a culture, your brain learns the rules, the gestures, the social cues. A horse is born knowing how to be a horse. You are born knowing almost nothing, and that makes you the most adaptable species on Earth. But there's a cost, and the cost is time. A lion reaches adulthood in about 3 years. A chimpanzee, our closest relative, reaches adulthood in about 10 to 12 years. A human? 18 to 25 years, depending on how you measure it. We have the longest childhood of any species on the planet. And during that childhood, we are a massive burden. We consume resources, we contribute almost nothing. We require constant supervision. For most of human history, raising a child to adulthood took roughly 13 million calories. That's the equivalent of 36,000 meals. No other species invests that much energy into a single offspring. So why do we do it? Because by the time that child reaches adulthood, they're not just another human, they're a problem solver. They've spent 18 years learning language, culture, tool use, social rules, and abstract thinking. They've absorbed the knowledge of every generation that came before them. A baby giraffe will grow up to do exactly what its parents did: eat leaves, avoid lions, make more giraffes. A human baby will grow up to invent agriculture, write poetry, build cities, or split the atom. Subscribe the channel Zevin for more video like this.